Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for coming here today morning. Many are going for an extended weekend, but thank you so much for being here. My name is Amrita Choudhury, and I represent CCAOI. And along with me, I have Rahul Sharma, who's from Grade ACE. And we are very happy to have you come here for this symposium on the Digital India Act. A bit about our organizations for those who do not know what we do. So CCOI is a trust, and we have been engaged in capacity building, research, and outreach activities for the last 14 years. And we do some work on internet governance and digital policy space, and we represent the interest of the Indian internet stakeholders as well as unconnected users from the Indian perspective in the country as well as overseas, and to build capacity amongst people, because we are in an exciting space at this point of time. We hold webinars or other discussions so that the non-public policy people also understand how digital policies impact them and why they need to raise their voices or share their concerns with the government in whatever form they can, because not everyone can write eloquent submissions. And Grade ACE Private Limited works on pressing technology and cybersecurity data protection issues and in tech policy, and engages with various range of stakeholders locally as well as globally to provide practical solutions and values, and is a trusted advisor for them. So as you're aware, the government is currently drafting the Digital India Act, which is expected to replace the IT Act, and it is expected to be released soon. The Minister of State, Sri Rajiv Chandrasekhar, and the Cyber Law team had this one round of consultation in Bangalore and are planning to have more. And at the Bangalore meeting, they did share the broad contours of the Digital India Act, and invited comments and feedback on the design principles. And the DI is expected to address the current digital tech cyber issues that is plaguing, or I would say that is expected to plague our ecosystem, so this is looked at as a panacea for the issues which the emerging tech is currently ushering in. So in order to provide a more nuanced understanding of and feedback to the government from various different stakeholders, we thought of having this symposium. And because this particular IT Act or the Digital India Act will have far-reaching consequences on the lives of each of us. And especially now when India is growing and we want to be an emerging power, and we are becoming an emerging power, many countries are also looking at it. And if we can get it right, we can be an example to many other countries. With that in mind, we thought of having this discussion, and Rahul would be sharing more on this. So before we start, a few housekeeping rules which I would like to share is we have 3 panels, and we have very distinguished speakers from whom we would be learning today. The moderator, after the discussion is over in each of the panels, the moderator would seek questions from the room. You are free to raise your hand and ask your question. But when you are asking the question, please do remember to name yourself and the affiliation which you have. We may respectfully disagree with each other, but we would not be using any other kind of foul language, because that's not how we want to operate. And we would like to have your feedback, because we plan to have more such discussions. And with that, I pass it on to Rahul. If I've missed something, Rahul, please carry it over.
So thank you, Amrita, and good morning, everyone, and welcome again to the DIA Symposium. We are absolutely delighted to see such enthusiastic response. Amrita got a call yesterday at 11:30 in the night asking for whether they can attend the event or not without registration. So clearly there is a great appetite for content and knowledge shared by the experts. And this should hopefully be good news for METI as well, that inputs will come thick and fast Well, yeah, hopefully good. Yeah, because like as we were discussing with Rakesh, that the divergent inputs can also paralyze actions in pursuit to find the right harmony and the perfect balance. As Amrita mentioned, that we plan to organize more of these sessions on the Digital India Act, online, offline, in multiple cities over next few months. We would also like to thank Disney for supporting us for this symposium and hopefully for more to come. In today's session, we reflect on the journey of the IT Act with the first panel and discuss on ways to create an optimum regulatory framework for cybertech data realm to match India's needs and aspirations. So we have come a long way from the IT Act recognizing electronic records and digital signatures, now striving to be relevant in the transformed landscape over past 2 decades through amendments and various rules, like most recently the intermediary rules that we have seen floated over the years. And now with the DIA attempting to keep control on what we sometimes feel is an information bracket overload revolution happening. And these examples are like glaring upon us. So recent emergence of generative AI infrastructures has led to regulators and policymakers globally scrambling to try and understand what the problem is, and b, navigate the pressure to regulate the by answering how and how much. And experts have been warning, signing letters to draw boundaries on where they need to draw the boundaries on what we can and cannot do. There are also some other issues. New form of crimes have emerged whose impact aren't fully yet understood. Then we have the digital competition issues, concentration of infrastructure, network, and platform power, aspect of socio-technological development, on how do we craft the open, safe, trusted, and accountable internet with the Métis vision. How do we regulate content, and how do we devise an agile regulator and institutional mechanism? And we all are hopeful that this will be addressed in the upcoming Digital India Act. It would require extremely careful analysis on defining the scope, the inclusion exclusions, the limits of a single regulatory framework. But as METI has put out, uh, in conjunction with other pieces like DPDP, the data governance policy, telecom and other sectoral laws, a fractal structure is ready to be laid out. If the IT Act was the basement, the DIA will be the ground and the first floor simultaneously for regulating digital ecosystems and blocks. And getting it right would not only unlock potential for the Digital India goals that we have set up, but also add significant strategic weight. This conference brings together scholars, practitioners, public interest advocates, industry representatives, policymakers, and leading voices in various contexts and at varying scales. The idea and intent, as Amrita was saying, is to provoke more thoughts. We do hope for your active participation throughout the day, so please engage, except the abusive language and personal attacks, as we don't intend to regulate much. With that, thank you once again for joining us today. Let me now invite our first. Yes, this event is being recorded. We are not live streaming it, but yes, recorded, and will be putting up the videos after a few days once it has been curated. So we'll just transition to the first panel. While the name tags are being changed, may I invite Dr. Aruna Sharma to please join us. So the first panel will essentially do a performance appraisal and rate the 2 decades of IT Act. We'll also like to invite panelist J. Satyanarayana sir, who is from the World Economic Forum, also popularly known as JSAT for short. Dr. Gulshan Rai, first and foremost, National Cybersecurity Coordinator for India. Mr. Ashish Agarwal, who leads policy for NASSCOM. Mr. Vakul Sharma, a lawyer and an expert on IT Act. And Professor Dr. Chalu Malhotra with the Indian Institute of Public Administration. And with that, over to you, Dr. Aruna. Thank you.